You're listening to episode 93 of the Play Therapy Community Podcast.
Welcome to Play Therapy Community Podcast, providing connection, information, and inspiration to child therapists all around the world. Here's your host, a licensed psychotherapist, a registered play therapist, and my mom, Jackie Flynn.
Well, hi, Jacob. Hi, Rhonda. Thank you so much for being part of the Play Therapy Community Podcast. I'm super excited about this conversation. Today, we're going to talk all about the ALLMEE doll. It's a doll that you've created. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, EMDR Learning Community. It is created by Rotem Breyer. Rotem is a really important person in my work and in my life. He's an EMDR consultant, an advanced trainer, and he has created this EMDR learning community that's free of charge for EMDR trained therapists just to go and gather resources. He interviews a lot of authors. He provides some free resources, and there's a lot more to come. So if you're EMDR trained and you need to kind of be part of a community and gather some more resources, be sure to check out emdr-learning.com. All right. So Rhonda and Jacob, before we get started, let me just have you tell people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Jacob Johnson, and I work for Play Therapy Training Resources. I'm Rhonda's husband, and I take care of the business, marketing, and production aspect of what we do.
I'm Dr. Rhonda Johnson, and I'm an LPC and an LMFT and RPT and supervise all of those, and then an EMDR consultant and a somatic experiencing practitioner.
Woo, that's a
lot of initials.
It sure is. I know. As you're doing that, I'm singing like the ABCs in my head. That you've worked a lot to kind of become just an incredible therapist that you are today. And for those of you that are listening to this and you can't necessarily see, but Jacob is wearing a hat, and the hat says something really special on it. So Jacob, can you describe what your hat looks like and what it says?
Yeah, it is our Play Therapy Training Resources hat, and it's in a really funky, fun font, I guess is the way to say that. And so playtherapytrainingresources.com is where we have all of our trainings that are APT and NBCC approved, as well as where we sell the ALLMEE doll and the hat and t-shirts if you want. But we've combined all of our play therapy resources into one website.
Okay, you have some merch, you have some products, and I before we recorded this, I had a chance to chat with you a little bit before this. You're going to be sponsors at the Playful EMDR Summit in Cocoa Beach 2022. It's our first one ever. And one thing that I really just noticed about you, I mean, I've heard wonderful things about you from Ann and Annie, but you have a love for just helping clinicians really help their clients. The way that you talk about your product, the way you talk about your practice, your work, it's just beautiful. So I'm real excited to meet you. I could see why Ann and Annie are like crazy over y'all.
Thank you.
Because the first time I'm getting to meet you. And
we're crazy about them as well. It's mutual.
It's a mutual craziness.
It is.
Right.
Okay, so the ALLMEE doll. Just kind of tell us what it is, what's the intention of it, the function. What do we need to know about this doll?
Ron, why don't you start by telling them how you came up with, or where you saw it and how we got to this point?
Sure. So Ann and Annie lead trainings where they talk about the doll, and they had, I think they had one they had brought with them, or it was just, they had one that they had brought with them. And when I saw it at the time, there were a couple of us from the practice that were attending, and I just knew I really wanted to have one, personally, but they didn't have anyone producing them. They couldn't point us really to any direction to get one. And so in coming back, I wanted it enough that I found someone personally that could create them for all of our playrooms here. We have 9 playrooms, to use them in those. And from there, as Jacob, began working here full time, really wanted him to be able to head up and find out, could we find someone that could make them on a larger scale and be able to get them out to other people, because I knew how beneficial they had been for us. So we've had them around here for a few years now, whereas we're just coming out to them really with the public within the last, year, last months. So really the background on it is, with counselors who aren't trained in EMDR, it's great for being able to recognize emotions and sensations and, storytelling and all kinds of things in the playroom. And the kids use their own curiosity and imagination, to be able to use the doll however, it fits them the best. And then for those who are EMDR trained or certified or consultants, we've had kind of a track going with all of our counselors here. And so a lot of them are reaching various levels at different times. And so we have the dolls for them as well. And obviously with EMDR and somatic experiencing, really helpful in the same way, because it has the 5 smaller, ones that fit within the larger ALLMEE doll. They each have a different emotion. And so being able to recognize parts, and which part of them came out with different events that occurred during the week or circumstances, as parents, let us know about what those were. And so we're, able to utilize, it gives the children something to use that they can hold that has the emotion outside of them. So it's not them carrying that shame or the view of themselves as being angry or bad or sad all the time, and that there can be that interchange of parts. And so it's been really helpful, in that way, and being able to recognize the sensations and emotions, but also just recognizing the different parts of themselves and being able to work towards all of us, being whole people and being reaching healing for different traumas that we go through in life.
Oh, just brilliant. I'm thinking about Dr. Siegel's Name It to Tame It, the importance of coming out with the actual term for the left hemisphere, but to be able to have that body context. And those of for those of you listening that hear EMDR, and if you haven't heard of it yet, it's a type of therapy. It's considered a trauma therapy, but it works across a continuum really well. It stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. So, but this isn't just for EMDR. This is for really any therapist. I think one thing I heard you say previously is that it's not even just for children, like adults can gravitate towards it to kind of be able to have that tangible expression of different parts of self.
Absolutely. So the adults, it's been helpful for them as well. So obviously the play therapy community pays attention to it more, but once, we've started utilizing them, we were realizing with teens, with adults, with any client in the room, that those who it's really beneficial for are drawn to it for sure.
What I'm thinking about? I took Oaklander model training. I'm like feel all excited and thinking about this. And that's projection, Gestalt play therapy, with kids. And it's you being able to have this one part. Imagine it's one of the dolls, maybe the sad one, and to be able to like, hi, sad part. How is it to be you? Well, to me, it is. And to be able to put that projection on there and process through with that that distance, that safety in there could be really powerful.
Well, and allows for that transition from it being like a sad part. Maybe they become like, a brave part or a strong part, instead of having to have the emotion name that carries more shame with it and a negative connotation, is being able to rename those parts. How can they be used, in a positive? Because we're not trying, obviously we want to integrate, all of them, and being able to recognize they're all a part of us. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, integrate and be able to just kind of, it could be whatever they need it to be. That's brilliant. Oh, I'd love it. Okay, so anything else that's good to know before we hop off here?
That the dolls are all handmade, and that we have a lady in Dallas that's making them individually. She's a single lady. And so production time varies just depending on the stock we have and how many we sell. So we're getting them out as quick as we can, but every one of the material that it's made out of, we tried to pick a ethnicity neutral color as best we could right now. And that the material is very soft. It's a much larger doll if you hadn't seen it in person than you realize. Just that's why adults and kids and all can gravitate. It's just part of that feel and the size of it as well.
Oh, I love it. And it's soft and squishy, and anybody can see themselves in it. One thing that I do want to ask, like it is, helpful with the parts itself, but it's not, and I want to confirm this is accurate. People don't have to have like a clinical diagnosis of anything to be able to benefit from it. It could be used with anyone. Is that right?
I mean, role play or anything really. The longer I've been in the field, the more I realize we've all experienced life. And so it doesn't matter who that client is, that whatever trials or, circumstances and unfortunately that we all endure, during life, that it's helpful, in all of those ways. So yes, it doesn't have to be a specific diagnosis or something, like dissociation or in that realm. That could be, just someone needing to talk through issues of life, but giving them something outside of themselves to be able to do that with.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, okay, so we're almost out of time, but I want to make sure that people know where to go to learn more from you, whether it's your training, to get the doll, or whatever you have to offer. What is your website address?
Yeah, the it's long, but once you type it in once, it should auto-populate from then on. It's playtherapytrainingresources.com.
Okay, and
Play
that'd be
therapy.
in the show
Yeah,
notes.
sorry. Oh, my fault.
No, that's my interrupting part.
No problem.
Can you say it one more time, Jacob?
No problem. Yeah, being in sales, I've learned to repeat emails and phone numbers. So it's playtherapytrainingresources.com.
Perfect. Okay. And I'll put it in the show notes too. Well, thanks again, Rhonda and Jacob. And I'm super excited about the ALLMEE doll. And I am super excited about seeing you in November at our first annual Playful EMDR Summit. We're going to be doing some trauma sensitive yoga on the beach and meditation.
I will be there.
You'll be there. And Ana Gomez and Marshall Lyles. Annie Monaco and Ann Beckley Forrest and not a gazillion, but several other incredible EMDR trained therapists.
People you're going to want to learn from.
Yes.
All right. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.